Hi everyone, Gemma here. Thanks for watching today. So this video was a request in relation to my favourite Distress Oxide ink blends. So I thought I'd split it up into a few videos. So in this one we're going to look at some masculine blends. So I'm going to be making these 3 cards using stencils in 3 different ways and then 3 different blends. So I'll talk you through all the products I use as I'm making the card and the blends that I've used. For the first card I have a 6x6 card blank. I'll be using this for all 3 of the cards. I've cut a piece of green cardstock that measures 5 3/4 squared to sit in the centre there, and a piece of white cardstock that measures 5 1/2 squared that will sit in the centre there. So I'm going to set these 2 pieces to one side and work on this panel here. I've got some Hexagon dies and I've used that to cut an aperture into this masking sheet, and that will sit over the front there. So we're going to do a double stenciling technique. So the Hexagon is the first stencil, so I'm going to place that down on my card. And then I'm going to place this stencil over the top of that. This is by Pretty Quick and it's a honeycomb 5x7 stencil. And then I'll be ink blending the background with Shabby Shutters, Evergreen Bough and Uncharted Mariner. So I'm going to start to peel the backing off my masking sheet. And this is quite thin so you can see through it. This will help me then with placement, so I've got an equal border around each side. So just place half of it down and then I'm just going to roll the rest over the top there. And then just press that down. I'm going to use the exposed edges then to hold it in place on my blending mat here. And then I'm going to place the other stencil over the top like so and tack that down with some washi tape. So as I'm lining this up, I want to try and make sure that I've got sort of open sides around the edges so that it still shows the hexagon shape. So I'm going to use these blending tools with the sponge on the bottom. You can get the domed ones, you could use finger daubers, you could use your stencil brushes. It's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to visualize this split into 3 and start off with the Shabby Shutters just at the top here. So I've heavily applied the ink to the top and using a lighter hand as I'm working my way into the card, ready to blend then into the Evergreen Bough. So loading my sponge up, again the heavier ink here towards the bottom of the card, and then a lighter hand on the blend line there. And then another lighter hand at the bottom to blend into Uncharted Mariner. So you can always work your way back and forth until you achieve the blend that you desire. I'm quite happy with that blend. I think that's turned out really nice. Then the fun part is removing the stencils. So there's my panel all now complete. I think it looks really nice. Really happy with the blend. I think that's a really nice colour palette there, and I'm ready to attach this now to my card base. So I'm just attaching my panels to my card base. So it's a top folding card, and I'm going to place the other one over the top like so. I'm not going to add any extra dimension with these panels. I'm going for quick and simple makes, and I may add a little bit of dimension to the embellishment, but we'll see how it goes. So I went ahead and I die cut lots of leaves and flowers in different colours. So I've got black, white, gold, silver, and I've just been playing about with sort of placement and how I want it displayed. So I think I'm going to have one white and one black leaf there, and just enjoy your day stamped on the front, and maybe some Nouveau drops to finish off. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all of that, and I'll come back to you once it's done. So there's the final card. The leaves that I've added are from Textures Magnolia Drive. The stamp Enjoy Your Day is from Paper Ink Stamp Ultimate Sentiment Builder. And I've added some Nouveau drops, and these are the vintage drops, and this is the Pioneer Green. So for card number 2, I've got my 6x6 card blank. I've got a piece of white cardstock here that measures 5 3/4 squared. I've cut 4 1/2 inch strips using the masking sheet, and I'm just placing them around all the 4 corners so I can have a white border, and then I'm using that to adhere to my blending mat also. So before I use my zigzag stencil from Creative Craft Products, I want to add some colour to my panel, hence why I created the 1/2 inch border here. So the ink blends that I'm using on this one is Squeeze Lemonade, Twisted Citron and Tumbled Glass. So I'm going to start off with Squeeze Lemonade, and I'm going to go in with a very light hand, just to add a little bit of colour to the background, not too much. So I'm taking off any excess there. And then I'm going to move into Twisted Citron. So a slight colour variance there between the two colours, but you'll see it more when we stencil. And then lastly, the Tumbled Glass. So I've secured my stencil to my blended background. As I said, just a light colouring in the background there. I'm bringing in some texture paste, and this is opaque. I've got the same colours then in the re-inkers, so the Squeeze Lemonade, Twisted Citron and Tumbled Glass, and I've added a bit of texture paste to my ink block there, and I'm just going to add a little bit of colour into the paste and mix that round. Got this nice bright yellow there. I'm going to add the other colours to the remaining 2, and then I'll come back to you. So I'm just going to take my texture paste now and follow the sort of sections that I've already marked off How cool does that look? I think it's lovely. So I'm going to set that to one side now and let that dry, and then I'll finish off. So I've left my panel to dry overnight. There was a little bit of texture paste on one of the edges and I wasn't too happy with the large border, so I trimmed it right down to the edges here, and I've cut some additional panels then for my card base, and they're going to go on like so. I've also die cut Happy Birthday, so the shadow is in black and then the text is in white. Just going to pop that on the front there. I may add a little leaf, I'm not sure. I don't want to take away too much from this panel because I really like that and I just want the colour to pop on it. So I may just add a few embellishments and then call that one done. So I'm just going to stick these down now. The green and the white panel will go flat. I'll pop this panel up to onto some foam tape. Reason being it's slightly warped, not too much, but it'll help flatten that out. And then I'll also pop that up onto some foam also. So there's the finished card. I added some Nouveau vintage drops in blackboard just to finish off. I think it's turned out really nice. This is the first time I've used the texture paste, so maybe I could have had a smoother finish, but it is called texture paste, so whether it's supposed to look like that I'm not sure. But I'm happy with the result anyway. So that's card number 2. So for card number 3, I've got a panel of 5 3/4 squared in white cardstock. I've just masked off a section of the panel. I'm going to ink blend this then with Lumberjack Plaid, tea dye and antique linen. And then I'm going to emboss the whole panel then ready to attach onto my card base. So I'm happy with my blend. So you could add some ink splatters here if you wish. I think I might do that just to add a little bit of extra texture. So you can spray it, but I like to just flick the stem of the spray bottle there. I'm just going to let that soak in for a minute and then just remove any of the excess water with a paper towel like so, and then you get this really nice bleached effect. I'm going to remove my masking sheet there. So I must not have stuck it down properly there, so I've got a little bit of a bleed, but that's okay. We can cover that up with a sentiment or some embellishments, and once we emboss, I don't think you'll notice it. So the embossing folder that I'm going to use is from Textures, and it's the geometric design background. I'm going to spritz the back of my panel just to loosen some of those fibres and help get a better impression with the folder. And then I'm just going to place that in and run it through my die cutting machine. So there's my panel. How cool does that look? I think that turns out really nice. That's going to pop lovely against then this white panel. So there's my third card. I've popped this white panel up onto some foam adhesive, had some gold pills in my stash, and I had some toppers already cut, and I thought this would match really lovely with the ink blend. So I think that one looks really cool. So that's card number 3, and I'll bring in the 2 others there just to remind you. So that's my 3 cards, 3 blends, 3 masculine makes, stencils 3 ways. All about the 3s. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, you might want to hit the like button, leave a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!